the market was all over Golden State, and the Rockets pulled that game out. I would think this has been a huge series for the house.
Yeah, it's been a great series for the house. Game one, I believe, was the only real loss we had when Houston covered as the sort of public dog. But the games in Houston, we did take some Warrior money. Closer to game time, that line did drop a bit to there's some 2.5s. So and game 4, of course, that line going from -2 all the way to the favorite Golden State -1, and then close at pick 'em. That was clearly we needed Houston there, and they came through for us. And then last night, the same thing. We needed Houston last night, 5.5 to 6, and we came in, by the skin of our teeth.
Will, take us behind the counter tonight. There's an ESPN doubleheader. Both games very similar, elimination games. The now home team on the road last game got blown out. The first game, of course, in the East. Toronto, a small favorite at Philadelphia, total around 212?
Yep, right now we're looking at -2, 212, and we're at 60% of the tickets are coming in on Toronto right now, and the cash is 2 times more money. Actually, no, it's just within a few minutes it evened out. So we're even action, but the ticket count's high in Toronto. So what that tells me, maybe the sharper bets are on 76ers right now. But the public is leaning towards Toronto here to close the series out. Because if you recall, Toronto-Philly the other night, it crossed over. Toronto opened the favor. Philly closes as -3. That was pure public money.
So late money, I think late money might show in Toronto here. I think it'll be public money. Is that going to, excuse me, is that going to bump the line, or do you think it's just kind of settled where it is now?
No, I could see it going to 2.5. There's other 2.5s out there, so that always is a possibility. I don't think it gets to 3. But 2.5 with some liability on Toronto is certainly a good chance.
How about the nightcap? Portland, they're in trouble here. I know they're back home, but Denver has to be feeling absolutely great about themselves right now. They probably should have won that 4 overtime game and got a little bit of, call it bad luck, if you will, in the game. They just look like the better team right now. What's the betting market think?
Yeah, Denver certainly could have won the series by now. And bettors are looking at it the same way. 3 times more tickets are on Denver right now. 88% of the cash is on Denver right now. That's with the points, money lines, tickets, slightly more tickets on Denver, but the money's overwhelming on Denver as well to close it out.
Will, tomorrow night, looking ahead, the highest line the Golden State Warriors have been as a dog with Steph Curry. They're I think it actually opened 7.5. I think you're maybe down to 7 with a lot of people. Does them announcing Durant out help you by people knowing what the line is going to be, betting it today and not waiting?
Absolutely. It just makes everything like a start over. It's like a do-over in a sense. So the game's dynamics now start with him being out, no questions asked, no like Embiid scenario when that net game took place and you have a guessing game with the line. Yeah, this reminds me very much of San Antonio, Houston a few years ago when San Antonio was up 3-2 going to Houston, no Kawhi Leonard. Line opened up, and I believe in the 7.5 range, and it shot up all the way to 9.5. They ended up winning, of course, San Antonio. This is similar where I could see Houston money come pouring in day of game and us needing Golden State.
So this is the interesting part of the equation to me. Look, Kevin Durant's a great player. That's obvious. But you're talking about a 5-point adjustment on the line, basically? That's I mean, I don't know. I might adjust 5 points for Michael Jordan in his prime. As much as I like Kevin Durant, he ain't worth 5 points. And that, to me, it says the value here is actually with Golden State, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I would have to agree with that. This good chances is over-adjusted because of public perception on a player. I mean, it's simple as that. Golden State, these guys are not stiffs that are playing here. These are champions. They know how to step up. They can take on a bigger burden, and you expect it, especially in a closeout game where it's kind of us against the world. And when was the last time they were in a real underdog role like this, where no one thinks they can win? This is a rare spot, so, you could see that happening.
Dave, you might even call it an 8-point adjustment because Golden State was a 1-point favorite in Game 4.
I'm not so much off Game 4 because I think the zigzag entered into that. To me, Game 3 was the real power-rated line. But that's, what was Game 3? Was what, 2?
3, I think, went off.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, 7.5. That's a massive adjustment. And generally speaking, we've all been around this for a long time. The public has a tendency to overreact to injuries.
Yeah, I've seen it many times. It's not the first time this has happened even this year, so it's nothing new.
Will Bernanke is with us from CG Sportsbook, so you can follow Will on Twitter at the Moneyline Guy. Let's take a look at the NHL Final Four, which gets going tonight. And then actually we're going to have a rare day off of the NHL playoffs because the Blues and Sharks won't get started until the weekend. But the Hurricanes and Bruins get going tonight. The Bruins are missing a key guy in Charlie McAvoy. It's a little different in the NHL. In the NBA, we talk about a major adjustment when a player of Durant's magnitude is out. McAvoy is an important part of the Bruins lineup, but basically there's no adjustment here.
Yeah, it just dropped a few cents, but nothing crazy here. I think it's more, from betting than it is from actual injuries. But yeah, right now we're looking at the ticket counts fairly even, and money is a little bit. We have liability on Boston in Game 1. We're looking at about 63% of the cash is on Boston. We have some puck line liability as well. We've very little Carolina puck line, which not surprising at minus 210. So Boston puck line liability too, and also series price 5-1 ticket count on Boston, and cash is about 92%. So good chance we need the Hurricanes to win the series.
Well, again, Dave said there's a day off, so the Blues and Sharks play on Saturday. San Jose with the home ice edge. And also, a second question, which of these four teams would be the worst for the house to win the Stanley Cup, and which would be the best for the house?
I'm going to guess it's got to be the Blues, right?
Right now, it would be the best result would be St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah.
Right now. And this is where it's so interesting because there's other houses in town where St. Louis is the worst result. This is why you shop around and try and find the best numbers, and it's why it's so important to have that app installed, because I'll guarantee you that this is because of price structure, where you might have had a better price on one, they might have had a better price on another, and you get a completely different set of liabilities.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, every place is going to have a different clientele. People, from different parts of the country are a tendency to go to certain places, themes, you name it. But right now, I'm just looking at the liabilities here. We have, looks like the Bruins. Looks like the Bruins right now would be our. No, actually, Sharks would be our worst result. The Bruins second worst, and the best one would be Blues and Carolina.
Well,
Blues are best.
Let's talk about that series a little bit. Blues and Sharks. Is there steam picking up for San Jose as maybe? And I keep on saying this, even though I don't believe there's such a thing, but truth is stranger than fiction sometimes. And San Jose kind of almost looks like a team of destiny right now. Are the bettors approaching it that way?
Well, certainly in the series price they are. We just took a $20,000 bet, $20,000 bet on San Jose to win the series at minus 120, but about an hour and a half ago. So we have some liability now on San Jose to win the series. As far as Game 1, it's low volume right now. A few more tickets written on San Jose, a few more dollars wagered on the Blues.
Let's check some of tonight's baseball action, and we'll begin with the Pirates and Cardinals. It hasn't been a great week for the Cardinals, getting swept at the Cubs and not exactly lighting it up against Philadelphia. Maybe getting Pittsburgh into town will be a remedy for their ailments. Musgrove on the mound for the Pirates, who had his first real bad start of the year last time out. Michael Walker's been a little unsteady lately for the Cardinals. What's happening there?
Yeah, right now 2-1 ticket count, not surprising on St. Louis. A few more dollars on St. Louis as well, about 61%. So right now we're going to need the Pirates if all things stay the same.
Moving to the Braves and the Diamondbacks. The Braves are very happy they're done with the L.A. Dodgers after getting swept. And the Diamondbacks saved their series by not getting swept going into overtime, extra innings, one of those things. And now, but they have to travel with no rest back home. What's the action doing in this game?
Yeah, right now a few more dollars and a few more tickets are written on the D-backs and Luke Weaver, I believe. So yes. I think bettors just seeing how the Braves are playing, and they see him come in reeling.
And the Nationals, who, boy, talk about reeling, they're the poster boy, or boys, if you will, for that expression. They'll take on the Dodgers, who are hot. I'll take a wild guess and say you'd welcome any Nationals action right now. Yeah, let's hope we get some. Right, we still have a few hours here, so that's the only saving grace. Right now, ticket count's the most lopsided one, about 6-1 on the Dodgers, and cash is about 68% on the Dodgers. A little run line liability too with the Dodgers too. So I'm not surprised at that. The way they've been hitting the ball, and Justin Turner. We'll see what he does. Does he hit 2 more home runs tonight? He is warming up. Yeah.
Dave and I talked about Seattle and the New York Yankees. We both think it'll be a higher scoring game. Does the public agree with that thought? And what's going on with the Yankees-Mariners?
Yeah, I'll start with the total. Actually, yeah, bettors are believing that as far as ticket count-wise, it's about 70% on the over, but we've seen some sharper money coming on the under.
Yeah.
Right now, about 3-1, the cash is on the under in that game.
And rivalry time as the Rangers take on the Astros. The Astros probably remember the last set between these two. It didn't go real well for Houston. Good matchup on the mound tonight with Minor against Miley. What's the betting look like?
Yeah, two lefties going at it. We got ticket counts, a few more tickets written on the Astros. I'm surprised at that. I thought they'd be a little more lopsided, but and this is a 5-10 start. And a few more dollars are on Texas right now, so bettors are on the dog slightly here. So, who knows? We may need the Astros. That's not a bad thing.
Let's take a look at UFC 237, going to be down in Brazil this weekend. We'll take a look at the 4 top fights on the card leading up to the main event, which is a ladies' battle on top of the card. Alves and Sharpoli going on. That's the first of the 4 we'll talk about. What's it look like?
Right now, it's great two-way action. We don't have a need in this one thus far, and the numbers right now, $110 each way. Aldo,
one of the guys who's been around for a while, he'll be taking on Volkanovski, I believe it is. And is this one of those where, I don't follow this stuff very closely. I looked at the line and I said, boy, that's a close number. I've got to think that the more recognized guy is Aldo, so he's going to get most of the betting action. Is that the case?
No, right now it's again two-way action here. It ticked down 5 cents, but as far as what we're seeing betting-wise here, it's two-way action. A few more parlay bets on the dog, Volkanovski. Is that how to pronounce it? Yeah, a few more bets on him there.
We've got another fight with Cannonier and Silva, and home court advantage is in play here with Silva, but he's again one of those veterans, and I wonder if the public. And the betting public in UFC is very sharp. Are they looking at this as a fighter past his prime?
Well, right now they're on Silva here.
Okay.
I mean, it's 150 to 130. I look at across the market, see the same thing. And the ticket count here is about 80% on Silva, and parlays are 2 times more. Tickets are written on Silva as well.
Namajunas and Andrade, they're the ladies fighting in the main event. And I've seen some tape of Andrade, and it could be Andrade. I might be pronouncing her name wrong. I apologize if I'm doing so. Holy cow. She's got some power. This is a closely lined battle, though, so it looks like a great main event.
Yeah, and actually the line hasn't moved, even though the only bets we've taken right now are on the slight underdog Namajunas. So right now we're still sitting at minus 120 even money, but I definitely expect this number to move at some point, considering it's the main event here.
Got a good recommendation on where to watch UFC 237?
Absolutely. Go to the Cosmo. Watch it there. We have 350 reservable seats, so got to do that.
That sounds like a great place to watch what should be a great night of action. UFC 237 this Saturday. Will, it's always a pleasure. And remind people how easy it is to sign up for the mobile app.
Yeah, I mean, you got to sign up for the mobile app for anything. Next week we'll have NFL weeks 2 through 16 out, along with money lines and totals on some of the bigger games. So the TV games, bigger matchups. Of course, our season win totals are still out, NFL season win totals. So want to take advantage of that. Download our app and sign up for an account, because you got to prepare like a pro to bet like a pro. So go to any one of our books. And
make sure to follow Will Bernanke on Twitter at the Moneyline Guy. We will talk to you a little bit later on the WagerTalk podcast. Thanks, Will.
Look forward to it. Take care.
We will take a break. We'll come back. Our Joe's Angle of the Day, and then more Thursday night baseball previews.
The Las Vegas Sports Line.
At MJ Christmas, you're not dealing with a chain. You're dealing with a locally owned establishment that's been here for years and years. And one of the things you guys pride yourself on, Cliff Miller, that's community involvement.
We are deeply involved. Our company is Vegas born, and we're Vegas strong. And what makes Vegas so strong is all the charitable issues that need to be addressed. And anywhere we can, we try to join hand in hand and lift this community up.
MJ Christensen, something special for the love of your life. Located at Boca Park.
Time to start planning for the 2019 swim season. Call B&D Pool Plastering and remodel your tired-looking pool. With B&D's 2019 swim season pricing, beat the rush. For a free estimate, call B&D Pool Plastering, 702-644-8980.
You know those smoking vehicles you see on the road? The toxins they emit soak into our soil and water and then get absorbed by plants and animals. So keep Nevada's air healthy. Report smoking vehicles at smogspotter.com.
Excitement is coming full circle. The Golden Circle Sports Bar is now open at TI. It's your go-to hotspot for 19 frosty beers on tap, shots and cocktails, nosh-worthy snacks like